I want you to breathe. I want you to breathe. I want you to breathe.
What's up, friends? We're back. We're Black and Curious. I'm Kandron.
Hey, it's Dehjai.
And child, we're back. We're talking about integrated housewives once again because these people don't know how to act.
Mess. Mess.
Um,
Mess.
they
Mess.
don't.
Mess.
Isn't it messy? Garcelle has had to check the girls down to Beverly Hills
As
as
she
they
should
have
have, because
talked
crazy.
cash shit about like how she should have been with her son. I think we talked about on a reality recap, but basically, Garcelle Garcelle's son was attacked, and the women on the cast were like, or he was attacked online. Sorry, and they were like, "Oh, you should have removed Diana's name," and she's like, "Dude, you think
She
that
didn't
I'm?"
send the tweet or Instagram post. Like, duh.
It was her son, and her son was not even at her home. So she was like, "You think in the process of me protecting my child, I was worried about you hoes?" That's my words, not hers. But the answer was no.
No.
And also, Ebony K. Williams has now come out and talked about her experience on rhony and how Ramona had to be investigated multiple times for racist comments that she made to staff, etc., etc. And HR had to be called on her. So, twice.
And both times didn't have nothing to do with Ebony.
Did not. She did say she reported one time, but that was more so in protection of her staff. Like it didn't really have anything to do with her, but she
Mm-hmm.
was just like, "This is the right thing to do." Um, but yeah,
Like,
Bravo
that's
got this.
crazy. You got
Bravo.
this old, she like 70 years old, and she's still on this show. Just cancel the Real Housewives of New York and
Well, they
redo
fired
it.
all of them. Didn't they fire the
Yeah,
OG?
that's what she said. But
Yeah,
then you were telling me something about Ebony said that they had fired all of them. But then you were saying something about them doing a new cast and then
they
the
are.
Legends cast. And I'm like, no, they don't need to be on TV at all. They done
Yeah,
collected all the checks that they was gonna get. If you didn't set up anything where you can make some, some money off of the time that she was on TV, then that shit is on you, baby.
yeah, yeah. And it's funny because I didn't know for sure, but I just had a feeling that after rhony wrapped, the reason they didn't have a reunion was because of Ramona, and it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was under investigation for some shit, per usual.
And to Ebony's point, this is a conversation that she was having on Holding Court with
Yeah.
Ebony K. Williams and her co-host, which is Destin. Shout out to Destin. We love him.
We'll drop the link down below.
She was just kind of like, while these investigations were taking place, we were still recording. So I don't understand why we could not have done the daggone show. But I get the sense that the producers were probably like, if she's being investigated for these things because this is stuff that she said just willy-nilly, imagine putting her in the pressure cooker position on a reality show for her to really say something. Because I'm
On a
like,
reunion.
on the
Yeah.
reunion, yeah, for her to really say something more, and like them turning around and like trying to edit that out or trying to explain it away or whatever the case. I think they just probably felt like it's going to be more trouble than it's worth. So,
It was a liability at that point.
mm-hmm. Well,
Um,
like she's always been a liability. Because when in previous seasons, when I forgot what her name was, but they lived in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, and her husband was like British. Ramona was talking about something about the Jewish people, this, that, and the third, or the whatever. And it was just like she did it in this season where she was like, well, why are we having a black Shabbat? Like that's how she sounds to me.
mhm.
Ramona Singer is crazy. And she's also Romanian. So I'm like, I don't understand why you have such. I think it's just she is of a certain generation and just don't need to be on television. Because that demographic of people doesn't seem to be politically correct, nor are they trying to get there.
Mm. While we're right there, let's talk about we're gonna talk about the Legends Ball right quick. I know you probably didn't watch this, but after so watch what happens live that week after BravoCon. They did some of these like snippets of BravoCon on Watch What Happens Live. So they did like the Legends Ball. It was right after Married to Medicine. So,
Oh,
anyways,
yeah. I did not watch you right.
um, Ashley had previously said on Ashley from Potomac, had previously said that Vicky was the most, you know, not she was just unkind to her when they had been on a interview together. And
I could see that. Vicky is a weirdo too.
I'm getting there. So and Andy had this whole thing where it was like squash the beef or whatever. So he called two people up that were kind of beefing a little bit. And he called Ashley and Vicky to kind of go at it right there on stage.
Oh, that's awkward.
It did not go well. Ashley was like, you were rude to me. And Vicky was like, I didn't know who you were. And she was like, but you knew I was another housewife. She was like, yeah, but I didn't know where you came from. And it was a very
But like, what
coded
you mean,
racism.
sis?
It was very
Yeah.
coded racism. Like even Andy was like, this is as Vicky kept talking, she was just like this. He was just like, this is not getting better. Like, oof, this is not going well.
Because Vicky is a goddamn cuckoo bird.
But it was very like, I don't she didn't say this, but this is what I got the feeling of. Okay. This is my words, not hers. Like, per usual, the Bravo girls, the Black Bravo girls, okay, they know the OGs of all of the cast.
Yeah.
They know, they watch at least a little bit to know who is who and whatever else.
Because we feel like we need to do that type of stuff. They
Correct.
don't.
Boom.
Mhm.
Whereas Vicky is like, I ain't watching the black bitches. Like, I didn't know who you were. I don't watch your show. I don't watch you. She didn't say she didn't watch, but clearly she didn't watch. She's like, Potomac, Atlanta, don't watch them. Not interested. She didn't say that. That's my words, not hers. But
I'm like, yo, she is really doing a
no,
lot.
she did not say that. She did not say that. But I'm like, Ashley has been on Potomac since season 1. So it's clearly she has not even watched
Not one episode.
not one episode of Potomac. And she probably, maybe she's watching an episode of Atlanta because she did know who Kenya was. But like, aside from that, I don't get the feeling that the white girls really watch the other, the black girl cast.
Or watch the cast from any other group.
Yeah.
I don't know about the other shows either.
So anyways, it was just like the old white women on these casts are going to become more and more of a liability than they're probably worth at this point. So
that part.
That's where I stand on it.
Sorry, y'all. The Moo has texted me.
But shout out to Sonia Morgan because Eboni said that she was lovely to her, and she was the reason why she was able to have a good experience at all. On Rhony
was the one that still wanted to film with her.
Yeah,
all the rest of them said
Sonia was the one who like kind of accepted what she was saying, and she was able to get through that first layer of defensiveness.
Right. Just let it go.
Sonia was open and the other ones were not. So
I'm so disappointed to hear about how Luann really was behind the scenes though with Eboni. That was disappointing to me. But I mean, I could see it because, like hindsight, thinking back to, because the New York Housewives and Orange County were the first two that I really got stuck on. And so I remember
my first season with New York was the one that Eboni was in. But I did watch OC from the beginning.
I remember when Luann was married to the Count, and she was very much, I'm a countess, I'm all of these things. And so very ridiculous. And it was just kind of like that once she got divorced from him and she just started living her life, some of that fell away, but it clearly enough of it did not fall away because that shit reared its ugly head with Eboni because she was not here for, like Eboni said, dealing with an educated African-American woman who you deem as beneath you based upon the color of her skin. Yeah. So anyhow, these are my words, but if y'all listen to Eboni's episode, she basically gives you that sentiment. Make sure y'all drop down in the comments and let us know what you think about these housewives. Do you think that there should even be a Legends version of the New York Housewives, considering that half these poses almost 70? Like, for what? Why is my phone ringing?
Good question. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe. Like Dehjai said, drop down in the comments and find all of our information. Follow us everywhere. Our information is down in the description box.
We'll see you in the next conversation, y'all.